Hey, YouTube family, Jack Squad. How's everybody doing today on this Sunday? Now, yes, I did miss uploading the video yesterday, but I was busy trying to get some coins, y'all. Anyway, drop down in the description box and like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe, right? And all of my social media sites are in the description box, as well as my Cash App and my email, okay? No subs today, y'all, just because I've been busy. But I have watched the Kamala Harris interview, and I want to discuss it with you all, right? You know, politics is very important, right? And sometimes we don't know all the ins and outs, like the electoral voting and all that. Sometimes we just don't understand everything. But I'm going to say this. Voting is very important. That's number one. Whether you understand everything or not, make sure you exercise your right to vote, right? It's some things that are deal breakers for me, you know, because I am single. And when I meet somebody and if they don't vote, that's a deal breaker for me. Or if they don't vote or they've never voted, like I hate to meet niggas over 50 and they never voted, like you retarded out the gate. My whole mind shift on you. I don't care how great you are, right? Because that means you're not socially conscious, and it means you got a little bit dum-dum in your head, right? But let's say you've never voted, be willing to go register. It's free. First of all, that's the part that gets me. Voting is free. You ain't got to pay nobody. You ain't got to do shit. Just go in there. And in certain states like here, I had to register here. When you go vote, they don't even ask for your ID. In Cleveland and Ohio, when you go vote, you got to show your ID every time. I went to the same polling place, when I bought my house, for the last 15 years before I moved here, and I still had to show ID, right? Here, once I registered, that was it. No ID. Just going up in there and vote. Now, this is North Carolina, right? Ohio is one of the, what they call red states. You know, just because we have Cleveland and Cincinnati. Those are big cities with black folks in them. A little bit in Columbus, but for the most part, that shit is rural and white, right? So, you know, except for the suburbs outside of Cleveland and Cincinnati. But even the Cincinnati suburb, this shit Cleveland too, for real. You know, it's not that great, right? The Republicans are winning there. And I remember when I used to Uber, right? When Donald Trump was, when he was running for president. And I knew that he was going to win based on I would drop these people off at these extravagant parties in a small suburb right outside the hood off St. Clair, where I grew up at, called Bracknell. And that's where the rich folk is, right on the lake. A lot of money in Bracknell, a lot of money. You really can't even drive in Bracknell. It used to be bad when I was growing up. You can drive through there now, but you better be correct. Because they can see you from somewhere. I don't know if they had in the trees. I don't know where they at. Because it's a really, the sidewalks are tree lined, right? But anyway, and you can't go in now. The beginning of it is right next to the hood, but you can't going up and through. They ain't playing that. But anyway, I dropped off white folks at the fundraisers. That's what they were. That's what I'm saying. They were fundraisers. So I knew then that he was going to win. And then my son lived in Southern Ohio. He said, all the signs in front of the houses say Trump. So I knew it wasn't like a shot. I was upset because we didn't vote. That's why I'm talking about this. I was upset. The reason why Trump got in is because us, black folks, didn't vote. And you see how horribly, horribly wrong that went. It was a catastrophe. He set us back 4-5 motherfucking 100 years with that racist bullshit. Even though we all know that their underlying people are racist, right? But they don't show it. He gave them the right to show just how racist they was and get their ass whooped 99% of the time, right? But that was horrible. That set us back hundreds and hundreds of years because we did not vote. Voting is important. And like I said, when I'm dating, if I meet a man, if he don't believe in God and if he don't vote, we ain't got too much to talk about. You could be a fella, you could have went to penitentiary 10 years, 15, depending on what you did. But if you don't vote and you don't believe in God, end of the conversation. Now, if you don't believe in God, we shut the conversation down immediately. If you don't vote, I want to find out why you don't vote. Then I'm going to tell you why it's important to vote, and then it's deuces. Because most people, if they're my age and they're not voting, they sit in that. They sit right in that. And 9 times out of 10, these are the same Negroes who benefit from the benefits of voting. You know, the last guy I talked to a couple weeks ago, he don't even work. So I know you get SSI, whatever folks get that don't work, right? That's because somebody voted for you to have that right for your half sickly ass to get that, okay? But you don't vote. Now, had Trump have it, all that shit would, had he had another 4 years, a lot of shit that we take for granted we would not have. A lot of shit. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking today, y'all, about, okay, people keep texting me about my house. The house is already, I'm already closing on it. So anyway, I'm going to talk about some things. Now, initially, I was mad at Kamala. It was only 30 minutes. I'm like, 30 minutes? You need longer than 30 minutes to talk about the state of Black America. But she did pack it in, so I'm going to take that back. I'm going to let Cousin Cammy ride. I'm going to let her live right now because she hit on some good points. But I was initially upset because she started talking about the vaccines. Listen, you can't shove that vaccine bullshit down people's throat. You know, I didn't take a flu shot until, and this is why I'm not taking the corona shot. I had my cousin called me. I told y'all fussed me out, but you can't instill that much fear. I'm from the hood, so I'm not that fearful of all that shit you talking about. I'm gonna just stay out the way, right? I'm more fearful of the effects of the shot than me getting the corona because I'm gonna stay out of people's face, okay? But anyway, not saying I can't, you know, it won't happen to me. I'm not nobody special. But I've been sitting in here literally, y'all, and y'all know that, since April, since they sent us home from work. I go to the store and back. I did venture off to Greenville. Probably won't do that no more because nobody's wearing a mask, okay? I was going to go to church today. Now, I went past there, and it wasn't that many cars, so I may go next week. But let me tell you what I just realized. If there's something I'm going to do the next day, and I get anxiety from it, that's because I'm not ready mentally to go. And I was up all night because and the only thing I had to do was, it ain't like I had to go to work. I had to go to church. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You know, because that Greenville, like I was telling my guy friend about, he was like, you should have just left. No, I done drove all the way there, bought my ticket, VIP. I was by myself, so wasn't nobody going to be at my table. I pushed the other table over. The other people was over there because wasn't nobody sitting there. So, you know, I was like, as long as nobody get right up in my face, I'm cool. You know, and I kept my shield. Let me tell y'all what y'all didn't see. My shield. Y'all see this? This is my shield. I had this on the whole time. And you can't breathe because, you know, it's got an outer. You can breathe, right? It's not the best, but it's safe. It's not the best as far as breathing, but it's not like the mask that just totally, you know, because initially, I was wearing the mask with the 2 holes in it, the black one that was heavy, like I was looking like Darth Vader. And then I started double masking. So I would have on the disposable mask up under the mask with the 2 holes, right? Then it got warm, so I said, okay, I'm going to go with the shield. You know. Now, if I go, but I also have the disposable in my car as well as gloves. Like, I don't touch the gas pump. It's a lot of shit I don't touch. I used to wear gloves all the time, even when I went to the store. Like, when I go to the money machine or when I'm in the store and because, you know, I don't have money, I use my card all the time, right? And I would wear gloves, but I also have hand sanitizer in my car. Everything I do, I get in the car, and sometimes as soon as I get home, I wash my hands. But, you know, I've been very, very safe, right? And that has affected my dating life because guys want to immediately do stuff. Hold on, bro. I got to see how you live first, you know. And if you moving around, no, I can't. You know, I had a friend, his birthday. I was going to go to Atlanta and kick it with him this coming up weekend. He want to go out. I said, nigga, I'm not going no out. I ain't ready to go out. If I was going to go out, I'd do that here. I'm not ready to do that, right? And so you go ahead. So I didn't tell him. I said, he's going out. I'm not coming. I ain't coming. I ain't coming. I ain't told him yet, but I ain't coming. Because why would you want to be in a bar and you don't drink? he just stopped drinking, so I'm afraid that he's going to get tempted, have a drink. And then when he has a drink, he turns into Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I ain't got time for that shit. So anyway, y'all. Anyway, I done went all the way over there to the left and the right somewhere. But anyway, so Kamala, Vice President Kamala, I like to call her Cousin Cammy, she touched on some points. But initially, she was talking about the vaccine. And I was like, this better not be no whole 30 minutes of goddammit vaccine shit, because I don't want to hear it, right? Everybody know now. People know about the vaccine. Either they want it or they don't at this point. Either they want it or they won't. And I know you have to keep pushing it because that's your job to do that. But, if you're interested in taking a shot, you've already gotten it. You know what I mean? I'm going to just stay right here in a safe house. This is where I'm going to be. I'll see what happens in 6 months. At the end of this year, I'll see where we at, what's going on. Like I was getting ready to tell you, I only took the flu shot once, and that was a few months before I came here. Like, I came here last year, that was 2020. The end of 2019, I took the flu shot and the pneumonia shot because I couldn't stop coughing. I think I had pre-COVID. I couldn't stop coughing. My doctor said, he didn't do an x-ray because I'm usually pretty healthy. He said, sounds like bronchitis, gave me an antibiotic, and he said, he had been asking me to take the flu shot. I was like, no, no, no. And then he had been asking me to take the pneumonia shot. No, 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 right? So I was so sick, kept coughing. I said, okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to cover myself. Well, I don't know if it helped or hurt it, because I stayed sick until the end of the year for the next 3, October, November, December. I was sick with the coughing. I coughed up phlegm every day for 90 days. I didn't get better until I moved here in January the 3rd of 2020. Different atmosphere, different climate. I'm just going to say different climate. I don't know what it was. But so I don't know if the flu and pneumonia shot helped me or didn't. Then I don't know. So I'm not fooling with the, I'm just not. I'm going to stay out of people's face. And I hope people stay out my face. I'm going to help them to stay out my face, right? So, but I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. If you think, for health reasons, I don't want to. Not right now. Like I said, I just took a flu shot. Flu shot's been out how long? And that's because of the persistence of my doctor. And like I said, I don't know if it helped or if it hurt it, But anyway, she was talking about the vaccines. And so I got a little upset because I'm like, like I said, this better not be 30 minutes of vaccine talk. But it wasn't. That was just the topic. That was the top conversation that she was having. Because I'm thinking they put her, the black woman, up here so they get all these Negroes to vote, right? I mean, not to vote, to get the shot. Well, like I told y'all the other video or so ago, there is a new strand of corona called the Delta variant, right? And she's talking about that, and she said that's even more deadly. Now, I've already read that. I read it on it. I've seen it on the internet. I saw it on TV, wherever I saw it at, right? I've seen it in a couple places. I read up on it in a couple places that it's more deadlier than the Alpha variant, which scares me and which makes me, I don't understand why people don't want to wear their mask. Now, they say if you've got the shot, you'll get sick, but you won't get that sick. That right there, that whole statement right there, blows me back. So it's like, okay, you don't have to wear your mask if you're vaccinated. I told you Burger King had to sign up. It said they under the CDC guidelines. I read the sign again. They under the CDC guidelines. Everyone's there been vaccinated, so they're not required to wear a mask. Okay. I just think it's stupid to not wear a mask right now. Let's give it 6 more months. That way we'll have 2 years of this. You've had I think the vaccine came out in January. When January comes around again, you've had a year of everybody getting shots, and let's see where we at. I just think it's too soon. Okay, I got the shot, and I'm going to take off my mask. Like, that don't make sense to me. I'm a very analytical person, and shit got to make sense to me. And if it don't make sense, then I don't do it. That's just the way I'm wired up, right? But anyway, she talked about she hit on some key points, She talked about the vaccine. And so they said there's a reason why some people are not getting vaccinated, because they may live in rural areas. They don't have rides. So what they're offering now is ride shares and different ways for people to get to the pharmacy or clinic or wherever they need to go to get the shot. They're offering rides for that. They're also offering asking companies to give them paid time off so you can go get your shot, right? And they're also offering child care when you need to get your shot. So they're doing everything they can. If you want to get the shot, you can get the shot. You know, like for me, Walgreens, there's always somebody sitting in the chairs. Matter of fact, might be 2, 3, 4 somebody's waiting to get their shot. Now, my cousin that was fussing at me about me not getting it, she said she wouldn't suggest taking the shot anywhere but at a hospital or a clinic where you can get immediate attention, because when she took her shot, her blood pressure went up. See, I already have high blood pressure. I take medicine. And, you know, I'm not comfortable with putting something in my body that's going to make me sick. That's just how I felt about the flu shot. You know what I'm saying? I wholeheartedly know how deadly Corona is. You know, I used to be a nurse, and I tell y'all about that in my books. I knew from way back when it first started, it was airborne. When everybody was like, oh, that ain't nothing. It's going to blow. Because my son, he had a hard time. Like, Mom, quit tripping. You just tripping. I knew that it was airborne because I'd been a nurse. I knew the shit was airborne, and I knew it was deadly. So I started wearing gloves and masks then before they even sent us home. First week, I started wearing gloves and masks, okay? But at any rate, so I understand the deadliness of it, but I also know how to protect myself and stay out of people's face. But anyway, she did talk about that. So they're doing everything in their power for citizens to get their shot, okay? They're doing that. That's wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And if you're healthy enough to get the shot, then by all means, get the shot, right? Now, the next thing she hit on was economic recovery from Corona. Now, let me say this to y'all. I didn't know, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and it's a very degraded, dilapidated city, violent, extremely violent, right? And I'm assuming that Detroit and Pittsburgh is like that as well, but Cleveland is very, very, I lived there, very, 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 very violent, right? Yesterday, my daughter came home, you know, she stays in my house. She came home from a little trip. She went down south with the babies, the twins. She getting the kids out the car and heard gunfire. This was the middle of the day. I said, where? She was like, oh, they shooting. She was like, on the next street. Like, all that shit. Cleveland is horrible, y'all. I can't express how horrible it is. Because when I tell my friends that live here and other places, they don't understand. They like, what? But that's how we live. We're savages. It's savages. Because we have lived that way for so long, we're used to it. But when you go around other people and in other cities and other places and see they don't live like that, you're like, oh, damn, right? So, I have been shot before. You know, I got shot as a kid outside. Somebody shooting somebody else shot me 4 times. Tell y'all about that in my book. But anyway, she talked about the economic recovery. She didn't talk about the PPP, which is what I wanted her to talk about. Because if you talk about economic recovery, and she was talking about they're going to... businesses, they got some sort of funding for small businesses and black businesses and carrying on brown businesses. She didn't talk about that PPP because I want to know, is people going to jail? Is they not going to jail? What's the deal, right? I didn't get one, you know. But anyway, she didn't talk about the PPP, but she did say that they're giving $300 to families, to people with children, which I knew that already. I think it's $300 per child also, to help economically, because she said, you know, if you were doing bad before Corona, you're doing equally bad now, which is true. And 40 to 50% of black businesses are out of business. Let me tell y'all something. There's a nice buffet restaurant right around the corner from me. And I believe black folks was back there cooking. White and black went, but I just believe black folks was back there cooking. And immediately when Corona came, they shut down and then they went out of business. I'm so hurt about that. It was a big business. They were better than Golden Corral and about the same size, I would say. And they had more to offer, more better things to offer, right? Good restaurant. They closed out. It's a big old for sale sign. Been up there since last year. They selling the building, right? A lot of places shut down. A lot of businesses weathered the storm, right? Well, she says, like I said, 40 to 50% of the black businesses went out. And so now what the banks are doing, see, all this shit is designed to keep us down. Why white folks don't want us to be prosperous, I don't understand. Because what I eat don't make you shit. I don't understand that. It's enough on the plate for everybody to eat, right? Just like they burnt down the Black Wall Street. They don't want you to get ahead. They don't want you to even get a start. They don't want you to do nothing. So a lot of black businesses are saying when they go to the bank for loans or money or help or whatever, they're telling them they're unbankable. Unbankable? What does that mean? Unbankable, right? So they're trying to get a CFI. I didn't get to understand what the CFI was, but it's for businesses. They're trying to get an economic package for businesses. This is what she's doing, right? And Kamala, as a senator, she was doing a lot of stuff that we just don't know about. They talked about all of that, right? All the things she's doing. And then the next point she hit on was the crime and policing, providing public safety. Now, this is the problem what's wrong with a lot of urban cities. And I can only talk about Cleveland, especially Cleveland and Cincinnati, because I live there too, and I'll go there quite often, is that I've been saying this to my kids. That's why I want them all to leave. If there's no commerce where you are, it's going to be crime, period. If there's no money being made, no businesses to support other businesses and support what's going on in the community, you're going to have pandemonium, which is what we have in Cleveland, right? And she was saying that commerce makes for a healthy community. I knew that. And I've been telling my kids that the last couple of years. When I told people, a couple people that I wanted to move, I had to keep it to myself because nobody had no understanding. They can't think outside of the box. But that was one of the reasons. I had visited my cousin in Houston. I visited my son down there where he lived, near Dayton, not in Dayton, but a community, college community called Beaver Creek, Xenia, Ohio. People are prospering there. It's a lot of commerce. Small city, a lot of commerce. And I got to thinking, this is why Cleveland can't make it, because there's no commerce. You got to drive way far. When I go to other cities, and I've been to a lot of other cities the last 5 years, right? When you go in Cleveland, you got to go way far, unless you live in the suburb, to get what you need. Or you got to go over here to get this and way over there to get that. Most cities are designed and rebuilt where everything is in one central location. A lot of everything's in a lot of different central locations, right? So you don't have to go no further than, like, now that I'm down here, and when I live with myself for them 90 days, I don't want to drive 15 minutes for whatever I need. I don't want to drive 30, 45 minutes. I don't want to do that. Go way across town. I don't want to do that. Get on the highway. I don't want to do that. I want to drive around right in my neighborhood to get what I need. And that's how all communities should be set up. In Cleveland, you got the Arab store, because the Arabs bought all the black-owned businesses. So, they're going to sell beer, wine, cigarettes, some gas if they're a gas station, some phones. That's what they're going to have, right? And so, there's no commerce there. And like I said, when I go to other cities and I see that you go around the corner, here's a whole strip, a whole miles, 2-3 miles of everything you need this way. Like where I'm at, it's so much commerce everywhere. And I knew it was money here, even though there's different levels of economic levels here, right? But they all live together for the most part. There's, some other, but a lot of people, black and white, live together. That's what I'm trying to say. But, and there's a large Mexican community as well. So we got our brown brothers and sisters here as well. Large, very large Mexican community. But, so there's everything you need. You can go this way, to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back. Don't matter which direction you go in, you're going to be able to find what you want, a whole bunch of whatever you want, and make selections, right? And I was like, I never, ever, ever want to live like I lived in Cleveland again, even though I own my home. I own my home. I love my house. If I could have picked my house up and took it with me, I did that, but the struggle for me was real, because I was like, do I want to stay in my house that's paid for and I don't have to pay nobody rent, mortgage, or nothing? Or do I want to go pay somebody some rent and live in a peaceful climate? I chose the peace, okay? So it's very important, right? And so she said, commerce makes for a healthy community. I know that, right? She wants to provide access to capital for small businesses. See, if you teach somebody how to, just what like that proverb say, I can show you how to, I can give you a fish and feed you for a day, but if I teach you how to fish, you can feed yourself for a lifetime. Same concept, right? But white folks don't want to do that, right? So she said they're going to try to provide access to capital for small businesses. We need well-funded schools, which is what we need. Like, when I was in school, it was all kind of programs, all kind of stuff, all kind of activities you could do. They've took it all that away. So now you want the kids to do what? They're going to fuck around and be outside doing dumb shit, right? Or a lot of boys especially play video games. And I know a lot of people like, I don't like them playing video games, but it's keeping them safe. I don't have a problem with a child playing video games. I don't give a damn if he play 10 hours a day. As long as he go to school, get good grades, and do his chores in the house. If he's a kid, play video games. I don't have a problem with it. You know, I got a sister that hates video. She don't like my nephew to play video games. She don't like nobody to play video games. You know, I don't care nothing about that. Because it keeps them inside. Because your kids can't even play outside. Before I bought my house, the street I lived on, and I lived in the neighborhood that I grew up in and raised my kids in, open gun battles. It's like that where I live now, but open gun battles, this was the start of it. Probably started about 20 years ago. Open gun battles in the broad daylight. They don't care about no kids outside, no ladies, no old grandma walking to the stove. None of that. None of that. And the house I lived in, me and my ex, I remember one day, this happened a couple times. This is what I was like, oh, I got to go. So I bought a house on the other side of town, but that soon became like where I came from. We were sitting there watching TV, doing what we was doing in the living room, heard the gunfire, and it sounded so close. We both immediately, without saying any words, hit the floor. Who wants to live like that? That happened twice. You couldn't let your kids play outside because the block I was on, somebody was beefing with somebody. I don't know what was going on, but they were shooting each other all the time. It was horrible. And it was like that in a lot of blocks in Cleveland. Don't matter what side of town you're on, right? So she said, well-funded schools, higher wage for teachers. That's what I don't understand. You send your kids somewhere, and they don't get paid the proper. They got to deal with your kids, your badass kids, and don't get paid properly. And also, you know, when you live in an urban community, if people don't have jobs, they can't pay the taxes. So when you ask for these tax hikes and all this stuff, people say no because they don't have the money to do what they needed to do in the first place, right, before this. So it's very important that we have a sound economic community, and we can have that. You know, if we stop acting like savages, and then businesses will want to come into our community. Real simple, right? She didn't say that part. I'm saying that part. She also wants to include mental health and health care, which is very important because a lot of times folks is going crazy. You don't know they're crazy. They just walk around on the streets. Or, you know, in their house, they come out and they do some crazy shit, right? Mental health is very important. And I know as black folks, we've been told, you know, we're going to pray about it and go away. But I haven't done it, but I need to. I need to. And I think I'm going to do that when Corona's over. Is seek therapy. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff I've worked through myself with the help of God, with the help of my church family. But it's a lot of stuff that's be down in here, right? And you need to talk about it so you act better, right? You'll act better. Like I got some stuff going on with me and a few family members that I need to correct. But I don't really want to because I know the result going to be the same thing like it's been then. But anyway, so also, she said they also want to give general incentives for home ownership. Now, let me tell y'all something. You know, it's so hard to get a house, right? Through the bank and stuff, because your credit score, I think, got to be 620, at least 620, but they really want you to have 650, 700. That's hard to do if you don't make much money and you owe. That's hard to do. So you be in this perpetual state of paying rent. I think paying rent is dumb. I do. I've been paying rent and it's bothering me for the last year and a half. So, you know, I've gave these people thousands of dollars, right? You know, and I want to get my credit score back together again so I can buy me a home wherever I decide to go. And because I just think that giving somebody rent, like in apartments, I didn't know this. And my son told me this. He's like, Mom, you know they're going to go up on the rent. I'm like, what? Shit, they already high enough. Sure enough, they're going up on the rent. Now, the management company has sold to another management company. They say they're going up even higher when the lease is up. So, you know, I'm going to have to move from here, right? But anyway, they're going to give general incentives for home ownership. Now, she said, which I already know, we're under-resourced, and that's what makes a healthy community. Now, I know that we're under-resourced. Like I said, when I go travel, and what's so sad is I have friends or people I know that ain't never really been nowhere. So they don't understand how critically fucked up we are in the urban community. They don't, because they used to seeing that like that. They don't know that it's better somewhere else besides on TV, right? And you can achieve that. Also, she said that voting rights, they're fighting for voting rights, right? She said 48 states, 48 of them, have restrictions pushed by Republicans. So the Republicans don't want you to vote. They don't want us to have shit. And that's the part I don't understand. Like, again, what I eat don't make you shit. Why you can't have and why can't I have? Why can't I have? It makes no sense to me, right? And she said there are 300. Now this was something, y'all. This is why I started off with telling y'all it's important to vote. She said there's 380 laws, 380 laws on the docket being presented to suppress or make difficult for us to vote. God damn, y'all don't want us to vote that much? What is y'all trying to take us back to that we can't vote? We can't be a democracy, because if you don't allow people to vote, it's no longer a democracy, right? It's 380 laws. Just think about that number, 380. Y'all got to vote. Tell everybody you know you got to vote, because these white folks want to take us back to 1855 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to take all our rights from us, don't pay us for our work, and put us in jail or kill us. Come on, y'all. We ain't supposed to be like that in 2021. This is the age of technology. We're not supposed to be living like that. We shouldn't be living under the threat of that, right? Something has to be done. I'm gonna say this. We need to pray and we need to vote. Period. We need to pray and we need to vote. You know, pray these demons and this evilness away, because this is done to hold us down. Like, why do you want to hold us down? Holding us down ain't gonna make you get no further ahead. Anyway, voting, you know, is a right. People die for this, and this is what the first thing when people say, I don't need to vote. I don't know them people. They ain't bothering me. People died to give us that right. Died, fought, got beat up, went to jail. Come on now. And so then she started naming all of the things that she was doing, and so Soledad said, well, can you handle all of that? She said, well, I've been doing it. She said, I'm a multitasker. So we got to uplift our sister cousin, Cammie. You know, pray for her strength. It helps that she's married to a white man, so she got some plugs somewhere. She's been in the Senate a while. Pray for her, right? Because I think she's doing as much as she can. I'm going to say that right now. At least she's speaking about it. And she's speaking about it. She says she's doing it. I got to take her at her word and say that's what she's doing. Okay? So that was the synopsis of the interview that Soledad O'Brien had with Vice President Kamala Harris. I affectionately like to call her cousin Cammie. Okay? So anyway, y'all, again, remember to vote, 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 vote. And don't just vote when it's time for the president. Like I told you before, more importantly is the legislation and the legislators and the judges. Judges is very important. Very, very, very important. The councilmen, like our city, we have councilmen. I don't know if they have it here. I don't know. But, you know, it's very important to vote for everything on the ballot. If you don't know, just think what you think, check something off. If you don't know, no, I'm going to take that back. If you don't know, leave it blank. But, you know, remember they would give you the little things. You can't do that now. Now they're right in front of the door. You got to get it before you get there. But do your reading. Do your research. Do your research. You know, and vote for who's going to help us, you, in the long run, right? But anyway, y'all, that's my spiel on Cammie. I appreciate you guys watching Jacquie with a Q. I'm gonna tell y'all about my next video. I'm gonna tell y'all about Love at the Lockup. That shit is so crazy. Like, you know, I thank God for my mind. Mind is a terrible thing to waste, right? And I thank God every day I can wake up and make sound decisions. Because that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They make bad decisions. Bad decisions, right? So anyway, y'all, thanks for watching Jacquie with a Q. Everybody have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.